Archaeozoologist Jane Wheeler examines the llama's skull.
These certainly look like permanent teeth. It's an older animal, that's for sure. The way they usually sacrificed them was by bashing them between the ears, causing a big concussion fracture and killing the animal that way. And then they're buried almost instantly before there's any signs of rigor mortis.
Centuries beneath the sand have left the mummified llama flattened and very fragile. The archaeologists use a large piece of cardboard to prise the animal from the ground in one piece. It takes the well-coordinated efforts of 7 people to carefully slide the llama onto the makeshift platform. Several hours after they remove the roof stones, artifacts finally start to surface from the rectangular tomb, offerings to whoever is resting somewhere further down. Sonia is handed the cane pipes of a flute, an early precursor to similar instruments still in use throughout the Andes.
And here we have the second layer.
There must have been music in the Chiribaya's world.
This is the underlayer of this musical instrument.
The artifacts are bagged and catalogued as soon as they come out of the ground. The next discovery is the head of a brown llama. This animal was also sacrificed at the time of the burial. The surviving family probably shared the meat from the rest of the body in a funeral feast. By far the most elaborate offerings to come from the grave are spectacular ceramic pots, heavily decorated with geometric forms. These vessels were used to carry water, or possibly for cooking. The Chiribaya believed that they would have need of these household goods in the next life. Most tombs have at least one piece of fine pottery, suggesting that there was a class of artisans who produced ceramics for the entire valley. Finally, at the bottom of the tomb, a body wrapped in a dusty red cloth. It's clear that loving family members wanted to make sure their relative was well prepared for the next world. It seems the Chiribaya believed that preserving the body would allow the spirit to endure, so every effort was made to keep it intact for as long as possible. They must have realized the desert sand was their best ally.
A lot of what we know comes from the last social moment of somebody's life, which is their departure from this world. We know that there must have been a wake, a funeral. These funerals are times when people get together, when the importance of an individual and the family that stays behind is sort of reinforced. Funerals are also made for the living, not just for the dead person. What you're seeing in these cemeteries is human behavior. You can feel the sorrow that was around.
Everything the archaeologists recover from the field is brought to the Centro Malqui Research Complex, just 1.5 kilometers away from the Baja site. It houses one of the most remarkable collections of ancient peoples in the Western Hemisphere. some 400 mummies and the skeletal remains of another 4,000 Chiribaya are carefully catalogued and stored at the centre. One of the primary concerns for central staff at the Centro Malki is conservation. Before they're packed away for future study, each mummy is cleaned by a lab technician, relieved of its layers of dust and accumulated sand with a paintbrush. Gerardo Carpio, the team's field director, handles conservation for the ceramics. Purified water soaks away dirt and reveals the abstract beauty of the designs. In a world without written word, the shapes and patterns chosen to embellish pottery form a language of identity. The white dots on the edge of this vessel are a kind of Chiribaya trademark. Pigments of metal oxide were used by the craftsmen to create the multi-hued geometric forms. The burial of the red mummy recovered